Hey everyone, MVP here. I hope you are well. It's Sunday the 18th of September. I just want to give you a quick update of what's happened this week in the Forex market, the G8, the big eight majors. What happened, a quick update of what I'm up to as well. Looking at my home website, fxcorrelator.com, if you go there, look across the top here, a few things you can go to, just get an idea of who I am, what I do, contact me, and a blog, and a couple of other things, just some training updates and things. I am planning to run some training in 2017, as some of you know, and can I ask if you are interested in some training later on, well, in 2017, not later on this year, it's not going to happen this year now. Please join my mailing list, just subscribe. Promise not to sell you anything. I'm not affiliated with anyone. I don't flog stuff. That's not what I do. I've been knocking around Forex itself since the early 2000s. I've been at some of the major forums, the big Forex Factory and Trade to Win, since I think 2004, 5. I can't remember. Offering a lot of free stuff, and I'm just there to help. I mean, I'm quite happy to help people, always have, especially to do with Forex strength meters. That's my kind of speciality, strength meter trading, utilizing strength meters, and I go a lot further than that than most people. I use them to trade, that simply, and that's what I'll be covering next year on some of the courses. And I offer a lot of free links and systems, which you'll find here. So I'm happy to help. I've met a lot of great people, a lot of great traders and friends through this kind of forum. And yeah, it helps. You know, I've found mentors through this, and I've definitely tried to help a lot of people. And it's just opening up and helping people. You help other people, they help you. So that's what I do it for. Next year, 2017, I will be training professionally, so I will be charging for my services. But again, you know, it's not going to be silly, and I think it's certainly you'll find it commensurate with some of the other stuff out there, which is much more generic. I can promise mine will be the real deal. So let's see what 2017 brings anyway. So that's me. That's the fxcorrelator.com. Also on Twitter, a few other things, but you know that if you've been following me. So let's look at what's happened this week, and then I want to take a look at the 3 duck indicator as well. So let's get on with it. Okay, here's the week. This is one of my specialized FX correlators. What this does is it allows me to set a start point of 0 against any time zone, any down to a second, basically. I don't offer it for free, sorry guys. This one's got a lot of other bells and whistles on it. It will be offered next year, obviously as part of some of the courses. But you know, you go out, feel free if you want to get one of these programmed up, go and find a programmer and they'll do it for you quite easily. Cost you a few bucks, but you know, it's up to you. But anyway, this is my FX correlator with a 0 setting. So if I drag this out a bit, you'll suddenly see it go to thing there. Let me just fix this and just sort that through. There, you see it goes to 0, and then if I bring it back to the start of the week, it'll suddenly open up. Okay, so what has happened this week? Let's have a quick look. Let me set this here. So this is Monday. This area here is Monday. So it's starting early Asian, obviously, Sunday night into early Monday Asian session, then London, and then obviously into the US session. So what happened Monday? Well, I mean, the first thing people can see is the yellow yen, and these are the colours up the top here, colours annotated to the 8 currencies. The yellow yen got very, very strong. It got strong through late Asian, very much strong in the London session and into early US session. So yen was definitely the buy Monday. What else have we got here? We got the red sterling there doing very well. You see it there creeping up. Coming down to the bottom here, you can see that this is the CAD actually, brown CAD. Came down a great sell again. So as the yen was buying, pretty much equal and opposite, the CAD was selling. Everything else was sitting in between. So these are the 2 majors. I call them the alphas. They were the alpha currencies, alpha buy, alpha sell. These would have been the ones I would have been chasing, and in my scalping systems especially. CAD came down into the 70s and 80 pips on its own. So obviously trading against something up here would have got you more than that if you got in early. Or even just buying it or selling as it came down. And the yen got up to the 80s. So both of them hit the 80s. So if you'd have traded the yen against the CAD, not one of the more standard pairs, and certainly a bit of a spread on that, I would never trade that as a scalp because it'd be too wide a spread for me. But there's 160 pips there on that trade alone. And if you bought sterling into CAD as well, you would have done very well. Okay, greenback, you see that slightly in bold there because it is the most important currency. The US dollar is the global anchor currency. I think it's traded in about 80% of all pairs. As usual, it doesn't really do too much to the USD. It's very rare that it gets a serious trend on, especially on a Monday. And you see it came bull and then it went bear into US session and actually quite nicely bear. So later on that was selling. So quite a good day. In fact, I think as I commented on my scalping threads at Trade to Win and Forex Factory earlier this week, it was a very good Monday. I remember I did quite well on Monday. I only did 2 hours because then I have my consulting business I have to run. But I did a 6 till 8 session, my usual session, and I was really pleased with that. I remember it going very well. I followed the yen, I think, and got CAD as well. But yeah, cannot complain. And then things generally, you can see here everything starts to flatten out a little bit more into late US, into early Asian. So that was pretty much the day, CAD and yen. Quick look at Tuesday. Here we are Tuesday, guys, and you can see how now here that the yen tries to battle up again. You see here, tries to come up towards that highs of Monday, gets sold off again, comes up again, gets sold off again, comes up again, gets sold off again. A bit of a pattern there. Generally, you could say that the yen was still bull. It's still bull for the week, but you can see there a nice ranging pattern. You see that? It's moving around very nicely. See here, I'm just putting these on. You see that? See here, nice range here. See that's bouncing up and down. I'll just move that up a little bit. I mean, we're only talking about probably 6 or 7 pips here on the yen, which is nothing if you're trading, stepping back, trading 5, 15 minute. Obviously, scalping is much more important, but this is very significant. It just shows that currencies, indexes, which is what these are. These are our currency indexes. Do you know what? They offer just as many opportunities using price action style trading and strategies and techniques as any pair or any other market or instrument. Yeah, it's just the same. And that's how I use it. And that's what I'll be teaching next year, how to do it. Sorry, I digressed a bit there on the yen, but you can see yen was a very interesting Tuesday. Range bound, probably about 60 pips both sides there. What other things did we see that day? Well, we'll look at the US dollar. It came in after a bear, after obviously a sell-off, and then it's just a progressive buy all through the day. Fantastic session on the US dollar. Came up to plus 67, started around the minus 30s. That's nearly a 100 pip move. So that was a cracking day. And as I probably said again Tuesday when I was scalping, there is nothing like the USD trending. When the USD is trending, trading is easy, scalping is easy, everything is easy. You get that big bad currency trending and you're going to make money, okay? And what were you making off of? Well, I don't know if you can spot this here, but the GBP was being very bull up here. I know it's difficult to see, guys, but again, can you see it does something very similar to the yen? You see how it keeps trying to challenge this top line here again and again, and then eventually, and this happens a lot in trading, it fails, it realizes that it is not going to hit those highs, and then there's a big sell-off, and boom, it came down. That came down all through London session. Oh, superb. And that is something like again, just under, yeah, it's over 100 pip move there. So I mean, the big trade of the day for me, Tuesday would have been selling sterling into US dollar, and you could have picked up anything up to, well, anything up to 150 plus pips there on that trade, because the USD has definitely gone up pushing 100 pips, and sterling has definitely sold off from the best points of selling easily 100. So there could be 200 pips there. I wouldn't have got anything like that because I would have been nipping in and out of that, but that was the trade of the day. Further down here, you can see that the CAD continued to be progressively a sell-off, and it's come down now to the minus hundreds. So 2 very strong selling days for the CAD. Moving on to Wednesday, there's the arrows, follow Wednesday. So what was going on again? Well, it seemed to be deja vu all over again. Look at the CAD. Again, the CAD. You see how it comes up to this level here? You see this level from Tuesday? Draw it across, just draw a straight line across, and there you go. Touch, touch. That is literally within 2 or 3 pips. That is phenomenal, eh? And it tried again. That is such a classic price action setup for a bounce off of resistance is untrue, and then off she comes again, all the way through mid-London into the US, all the way down, and now we're selling off from the minus 50s, which it was, all the way down to the 130s. That's an 80 pip sell-off of CAD on Wednesday. Easy if you're watching it. Easy if you're watching it. We'll talk about the three ducks as well. And I think you'll find CAD was a classic sell for that this week as well. In terms of what else was going on, well, everything else started to get a bit choppy, didn't it, here? Wednesday can be a classic day. CAD was an exception to the rule. Normally Wednesday, most things are starting to consolidate. Anything that's had a good move in the week tends to come back towards the median, to the zero. And you can see this. You see here the US dollar comes under pressure, comes in. The yen is just bouncing around like a crazy man. It sells off and comes back. So everything else was pretty choppy, I have to say, generally. But the CAD was the play. Moving on to Thursday now, you see up here, got Thursday arrows there. By this stage with Thursday in mind, you start to get traders potentially thinking about whether they've made a lot of money in the week on particular pairs, particular currencies, and starting to consider whether they should start consolidating, closing out some of those trades, or even taking 50%, doing some kind of just peeling off some of the trades they've got, reducing their positions. In terms of what happened, the yen came back north, so the yen would have been a buy. Sterling, which was bouncing around all over the place, you see how it zigzagged all through the week, and that is quite characteristic of sterling. It's quite a choppy currency. It gets big early. Early Asian comes back into the positives and then sells off dramatically all the way through London in the morning. So sterling was a sell. London morning. What else? The CAD by now, it's out of the minus 150s. And it does come in. So there you are, people starting to close out some of those trades. So CAD has a good buy session through Asian, through London, and into early US. And greenback, the greenback comes back towards zero. So the greenback again had a good bull session, as you can see from Tuesday, and not so good Wednesday. Still holding, comes back in Thursday and then starts to sell off. Euro sold off. So Thursday was a bit of a mixed bag. If you were smart enough to get on the CAD, that was probably the best play. Probably CAD into US dollar, as good as any. Or CAD back into sterling, which is a bit of an exotic trade, but it's up to you. And last but not least, let's talk about Friday. Friday, most interesting day of the week. If anything has moved very strongly or weakly in the week, that's when you can look for consolidation. But no, I mean, in fact, Friday was a classic trading day. You could trade this any day. I mean, look at sterling. Sterling is bouncing here around the zero. It's back to pretty much where it was at the start of the week. It's a colossal sell-off all the way through. That's not even just like a one position, like 5-10 minutes of trading. That is all the way through from very early London. And look at the nice positions here. Look at the support resistance. Look at the little areas here where it tests. It gives you, that's probably in the region of 10-15 pips on sterling. Just give you an idea, and then boom, selling off again. Down here again. I know it's difficult to see, guys. CAD's in the way. But again, a little range of about 10 to 15 pips, and then boom, straight off again. All the way down to the minus 180s. I think actually, I mean, this is on a 15. The 1 minute is even more accurate. I think that's pushing 200. 200 pip sell-off. Friday, there was only one currency in the game. It was sterling. Sterling was a sell. Congratulations if you followed that. What would you have been buying? Well, you can see here that after a weakish Thursday, US dollar really has a great run Friday, and I'll tell you what is good news as well. It follows up with its pal, the yen, the yellow yen. When you get these two guys running together, it's just it is like shooting fish in a barrel. That's when I find scalping and trading a pleasure. So cracking day. The Aussie pairs, New Zealand dollar and the Aussie were good. Swissy and Euro again running pretty much together, pretty flat. But what a day! And again, and just before to conclude, look here. Let's drag this down. See what I mean? This was the low for the week of CAD, sold off. Look at it, virtually within 1 or 2 pips. Hits that, bounces back up. If you hit that 150. You've got something like 70 pips. All you've got to do is find your currency to sell, which happened to be sterling. So again, CAD sterling's been an interesting trade this week, and I don't scalp it. Don't get me wrong, but it is very interesting, especially if you step up to the 5 minutes plus. So I hope you found that interesting. What I'm going to do now is just show you my 3 ducks. Okay, if you go to my website, you go to my forums, threads at forums, you'll see me mentioning the 3 duck Corrie or the triple arrow Corrie. All it really is 3 FX correlators that are automatically put onto one indicator here, and these arrows show you. They're all based on a 60 moving average, and it is the 4 hour, it is the 1 hour, and the 5 minute. The 5 minute is a trigger. It's based on Captain Currency's 3 duck system, which is actually about pairs, but I've just transferred it into looking at 60 MAs on currencies, and you know, it can be a very effective system. What it's doing is it's making sure that when you do trade or look for triggers on the 5 minute time frame, i.e. your lowest time frame where you're looking for pair trades, you make sure that your currency is moving in the direction of 2 higher time frames, the 1 hour and the 4 hour. This happens to be set on a 4 hour at the moment, so what you're looking at here is the 4 hour bar, the M240. See this? These are the arrows that correspond to what's going on here, guys. Normally what most people do is set this at a 5 minute. They don't need to see these because the arrows are telling them. But it just gives you an idea what was going on in the week. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to hide these. You're able to do that with the free indicator that you can find. You can hide that bit. And then I'm just going to focus on what the 4 hours telling us. That's the big, highest anchor time frame. And just show you what the 3 ducks would have been offering this week. Okay, so I'm just going to hide this. Bear with me. We've gone into the settings. You see here, show table. Just going to turn that to false. Hit that and refresh, and there you have it. You see, it's gone. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this to the start of the week, which was around the 11th, to there. Now I'm going to bring it down. So remember, this is just this week. Okay, I'm going to bring it down to there. Now it's a bit messy. Then I'm going to compress this a little bit. And then we're gonna, through the magic of things, we're gonna leave that there. Actually, I'll just drop that down a bit. Okay, so we're looking at a week against a week, and I just wanted to show you just how interesting things are. Now this is a 4 hour, remember, so this will steer the trades this week for what the 3 duck corridor was telling us. Now, can you see the first really interesting thing? Can you see that the brown cab was a strong sell signal on the 4 hour? Which means that as long as the 1 hour and the 5 minute was signaling that it was also a sell on the 60 MAs, then you needed to be, the 3 duck was telling you to sell CAD this week. And look at it. You see how it comes off, and look how it corresponds up here. You see how the 3 duck really was screaming at you to trade CAD sells. Now, later on in the week, it was a little bit more of a problem. But again, as you saw, there was opportunities here to sell. Even by Friday, you were still selling. Okay, so this is how good the 3 duck can be at times, giving you the higher indications. What else was interesting this week? The other one I wanted to point out very obviously was the yellow yen. You see here, all through the week, the 4 hour on the 3 duck said buy yen on the highest time frame, and it was just waiting for the 1 hour and the 5 minute to line up. So again, all this week, whenever there was an opportunity, your 1 hours and your 5 minutes lined up, which they would have done Monday, they would have done overnight. There's another one there. I guarantee you these were pretty much, probably not here, but as you got to here into London session US, again, I guarantee you this would have been lining up on the 3 duck to buy yen. Okay, so all the way through the week, it was already telling you on the yen and the CAD to try and trade those if you saw them. Another one out of interest was the blue euro. Look at it, all through the week it stayed as a buy, and clearly Monday was pretty much a no-no, but by Tuesday I'm sure that it started flashing buy at some points during the day there. Possibly Wednesday. Thursday came off a bit. Again, the lower time frames wouldn't have got you in there, and probably not there. But again, anywhere here where you see strong divergence, you see things. I mean, even the US dollar, you see how it comes through here. I know it was flat here, but it comes through here by Tuesday, Wednesday. So again, US dollar trying to get you into buy trades. Obviously it doesn't work all the time, but the thing about the 3 duck is it's trying to get you to focus on the currencies that really matter, the triple currencies, the ones that are showing in all 3 time frames. That's the magic of it. Okay, so I'll leave you with that. This is yours truly, MVP, signing off. I'll try and get some trading in this week, some scalping, but unfortunately my consultancy business is crazy busy at the moment. But I will try and get my 2 hours in the morning. I'll post as I always do, and I'll try and get you into any trades if I call them. But again, it can be difficult sometimes when I'm trying to do 3 or 4 things at once. Have a great weekend, what's left of it, and have a great week next week. Cheers, guys. Bye.